I just realized I was lazy in my life at different stages, and I needed to cultivate the habit of working hard and doing things when I didn't feel like it. As many times I didn't feel like doing it, but I had to train myself. If I don't feel like it, I've got to do it. I lived by this philosophy that Tony Robbins taught that he learned from Jim Rohn, which is that if you can't, then you must. If you say you can't do something, but you know by doing it, you're gonna be better off for it, you're gonna be more confident, a better leader, a better worker, a better human being, then you owe it to yourself to do it. You're cheating yourself if you don't do it. So for me, if something was uncomfortable or difficult, that was like, great, that's my opportunity of growth right there. Time to step up, time to do it, time to stretch myself, and as a result, I'm gonna grow from that.
Anytime you recognize yourself falling into that pattern of laziness, snap yourself out of it and remind yourself of the consequences of that. Remind yourself of what that is costing you in your life and how you're actually making it harder for yourself to get out of that place. And then just get yourself to take little actions. Get yourself to take little actions that can help boost your self-esteem and your confidence a little bit. And I can promise you, you'll get so addicted to it that you're gonna find so much pleasure just in the process of taking action and working hard that you're gonna realize that you're gonna wanna do that more often. And especially as you start getting a taste of achieving your goal and what it is that you want, then that motivates you even further as well.
You see, I think a lot of people, they focus on the short term. They wanted the results yesterday, and they don't realize that it's a long-term process. If you want to achieve anything of value in your life, you have to focus on the long term. I see time and time again, people, they want to start a diet and lose all this weight in a short period of time. Or they want to start an online business and make all this money in a very fast period of time and get rich quick. Well, it doesn't work that way. If it was that easy, if it was that fast, then everybody would be ripped, skinny, athletic, rich, be making passive income and living on the beach, right? It doesn't work that way. Of course, it is possible. There are people out there that lose all this weight in a fast period of time, or people that make a lot of money in a fast period of time. But you have to understand that that's not the majority. That's not the average.
So I wanted to put myself on the line to become resourceful, to become committed, to tap into my creativity. If I needed to stay up all night working, I was willing to do that. Just like school, if you have a test or a project that's due and you didn't get it done, you're gonna work and stay up all night if you have to be able to submit the project, because the consequence is you don't wanna get a bad grade on the project. It was that same mentality. So you might say that's crazy, and it kind of was. I wouldn't recommend that, but it stretched me in so many ways that you can possibly imagine. I just pushed myself in ways of, when there's uncertainty and desperation and you're trying to figure out how to pay your bills, you're resourceful like crazy. I mean, you're trying to figure out, I gotta sell this, I gotta try to borrow money in some cases. I went pretty extreme with that, and I'm not recommending that to anyone, but it's just something that I did at that stage of my life. And the result of that is I grew massively. I developed the muscle of whatever I commit to, I do. When you put yourself in challenging situations like that, then most things that people are challenged by become easy in comparison.
Also understand that hard work, working hard, being a hard worker, that's a habit as well. You can condition that. In fact, the more action that you take in your life, the more that you improve yourself, the more that you work hard towards your goals, then the more that you're conditioning that habit of being a hard worker. The more that you condition it, every time that you take action in your life and you work hard, you have to understand, even though there's not an immediate benefit from that, there's no tangible reward. It's not like you go to the gym and all of a sudden you get a trophy or something like that. There's nothing tangible to that. Every time that you're taking action, there's an intangible reward. There's a byproduct of pride, of confidence, of self-esteem, of happiness in your life. You feel good about yourself. You gain confidence every time that you take action and you do something that's right, that's gonna help you make progress in your life. You feel good about yourself. That gives you momentum. That momentum, you can utilize that, and it becomes a snowball effect. And you wanna take more action. You wanna keep that momentum going in your life.
You can't afford it, you should be asking yourself, how can I afford it? How can I solve this problem that I have that I can't afford something, and put an end to that so that no longer has to control you in your life? When are you gonna finally just decide, you know what? I'm gonna go for it 100%, 1,000%. I'm gonna do whatever it takes, man. The only way you're gonna ever get to that point is you gotta want it so bad. You gotta be willing to pay the price, because part of getting what you want is knowing what you have to pay and be willing to pay in order to have it. Pay that price, whatever that price is. There's always a price to everything that you want. But it's not until you get to that point Now, oftentimes people, they have their fears here, they have their limitations here, they have their stories here, right? And this is overpowering their desire. They want this, but they don't want it bad enough. This desire that you have for whatever goal, whatever it is you want, a business, a body, a relationship, love, happiness, whatever it is, guys, this desire, this commitment to this has to be so much greater than whatever the hell your story is, whatever your limitations are, because when this is greater, when you say, oh, I can't afford it, this will take over this, and you will find a way to afford it.
Now, if you're not driven by pleasure and the benefits, then you can think about the consequences as well, because there's pain in not achieving your goals. There's pain in being lazy. There's pain in not working hard. And you need to understand what you're missing out on by being lazy. And you need to start to associate pain to laziness. It's not until you recognize that being lazy affects everything in your life and even other people in your life, and you fully associate to those consequences, that will allow you to free yourself of it and take massive action towards what it is that you want. So for example, just recognizing that by not making money, or by not losing the weight, or just by sitting around on the couch, that's affecting your self-esteem, it's affecting your confidence, it's affecting your sense of pride, it's affecting your sense of happiness and fulfillment. Every minute you spend wasting time and being lazy is actually costing you money. There's an opportunity cost to that, because in that time that you're sitting there watching those TV shows and watching those movies and playing those video games that you're never even going to remember 5 or 10 years from now, that's time that could be spent making more money, making more of a difference, improving yourself, reading, gaining more knowledge, and doing things that are actually going to benefit you a lot further. So having those reasons, whether they're good reasons that empower you and drive you, or they're painful reasons that are going to drive you as well, because you don't want to settle any longer for living a life that's less than what you can be, do, or have.